story.
Hey folks, today we are talking with V King, and we're talking about Nelson, obviously Nelson, and we're talking about making money. I'll see you soon. As soon as I find my sign off video, I'll see you soon. Hey, there's everybody accounted for. That's V, and look, there's Nelson. Right,
Doing
Nelson,
the most,
taking up all the space.
He's the bossiest cat.
Yeah. So welcome to Get Rich 101, Beyonce Files edition, and we are
V King.
No, it's V King, of course. Oh, he's scratching you.
Okay.
Sorry. So do the intro though.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey folks. Hey, welcome to Get Rich 101, starring the one and only hostess with the mostest, Sekou Writes, and his fiance in tow, V King. Thank you to New Thought Media for giving Sekou Writes this platform to share his passion, his wisdom, his knowledge. He is not a financial advisor or wealth manager.
Yeah.
He is, however, the money wizard.
The money wizard.
And he's bringing his money wizardry to the platform. He is also not a personal trainer. However, he is sharing with you all what has been working for him to get himself from where he was July 14th. 2022,
14th, wow.
The day of his second stroke. Yes. It was a hemorrhagic stroke. What a lot of people don't know is what that means. It means bleeding on the brain. And then you tell them the stats of what that is.
Okay, that was a great intro. Great intro,
Thank you.
So, my second stroke, I survived.
Yes.
I survived.
Amen.
And that second stroke, if 100 people caught the stroke today, 83 people would die. 83 people wouldn't make it out of the hospital.
Yeah.
83 people would not make it out of the hospital in 4 weeks. In 4 weeks, they died within 4 weeks. So I'm one of the 17 people that made it out.
Amen.
17%.
17%. You're a 17. He's a 1%er because only 1% of the human population in the world, not just the United States of these Americas, ever run a marathon.
Oh yeah,
you're also
where you going with that?
Yeah, you're also a 3%er.
3%er.
Only 3% of people in the world say they want to write a book, and they actually write it.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, so you're a 1%er, 3%er, and now because you are thriving through your stroke, you are a 17%er. So 17%. In my book, you a winner, baby.
I'm a winner.
You a winner, baby.
I'm a winner. Yes. And now I'm coming up on my third birthday.
You'll be 3 years old.
That's why I've been telling people I'm 3 years old. I'm learning it all over again.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about money.
Let's get it.
Let's talk about money.
What's up, Fatima West? Good morning.
Yeah. So, well, first we ran into a employee.
Yes.
This morning, and she was asking me why 9:45, and I was like, I'm so glad you asked. No one ever asked me why the show starts at 9:45. So I'm gonna answer this really quickly.
Take your time.
I used to produce my show and Reverend Melissa's show, right? Because that's when I was all fast with everything, right?
Yes.
And then she wanted to do an hour of power, Me half an hour and her half an hour. We had to have the whole hour.
Okay.
But then I would have to undo everything that I was doing in terms of production on my end, and then get up to speed on her end, and that took more than just a few seconds, right?
Yeah.
And so I put it out to my congregation.
Oh, he's got a congregation.
My congregation.
Oh, from your mouth to God's ears.
My mouth,
you just said it.
Yes, congregation. What?
Congregation.
Yeah,
Listen to what does that word mean?
That's like, your flock.
And that means that if you have a congregation and a flock, then that means you are some sort of practitioner, minister, pastor. You're speaking the good word.
I guess you snuck in.
Reverend.
Snuck in there.
There's no sneak.
You snuck in there.
That was in divine order. I hope you hear that, Rev. Melissa. Go ahead. I'm listening. They're listening. Flock. Congregation.
So anyway, I put out the question to my flock, and they said 9:45, and I was like, 9:45, not 9:30, not 9 o'clock, like not on one of the even half hours, like 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And they were like, no, 9:45, and then we can slide from you over to her. I was like, okay, all right, I guess. And this is what's funny. I took your advice. I made the show start at 9:45, and this was before I even knew that the stock market opened at 9:30 in the morning. Before I even knew.
Yes.
Before I even knew.
Because the universe is conspiring to support your most dominant thoughts.
Yes. Yeah. So now I'm busy. Now I'm busy at 9:30. I'm busy with the stock market. Mm-hmm. I'm very focused and busy at 9:30, and then I've got time to do that and then come on the show.
Yeah.
And who would have known? Who would have known that I have to make that kind of adjustment?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like a good pivot.
Yeah, good pivot.
Yeah.
Good pivot.
Okay, what are we talking about today?
Okay, that's what I had to say.
That's it?
That's what I had to say.
Shout out to Danielle. So Danielle is she's the manager, I think district manager. I don't know the title or role, but she's the manager of Equinox. Okay. And she and I have become really.
Oh yeah, that's what we're just talking about.
Yes, Danielle wanted to know why his show starts at 9:45. And so Danielle, if you are watching, shout out to Danielle. We didn't get a chance to really chat this morning because I was going live on all the platforms. And then I am in a 5-week intensive. We are in a 5-week intensive. It went from a masterclass, which was 4 hours, to a mentorship. And then I decided to upgrade. And Sekou and I have been doing this together. It is incredible. Her name is Annetta Powell. And last night something happened. Can I talk about that?
Okay.
Because it's about money, right? I paid one amount to get into the mentorship, and then she invited you to upgrade. Of course, with the upgrade to VIP, you get more benefits, right? The more you pay, the more you get. The more you pay, the more you get.
Right.
And so now I'm in VIP. I get to ask questions and have a one-on-one with her, and she honors that. Like she really is a person of integrity. Something happened last night, and it really shook me. And Sekou, you are so not just intuitive, but I think you really know me, because I think if I don't say anything, then he won't know. Mm. And you kept going, and I was getting really agitated with you asking me, well, are you sure? Because I said last night, I was like, I'm just feeling some sort of way, and this too shall pass, and I'll go to sleep and I'll feel better. And so what happened? Let me back up. What happened was I'm in the class, and sometimes you have sidebar conversations with other people in the program, and there are, I think there's like 700 and something people.
Right.
And so I decided during the training that I would reach out to a few of those people individually and share with them my Circle of 5 training, Fund Us Forward, right? And I sent out, because I kept track, I sent out about 16 or 17, and her moderator saw it, and she called me out, y'all, live in front of 700 and something people. And I was thinking, what was it about that really bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't sleep last night. And I was like, why are you thinking about this woman? Like, let it go.
Mm-hmm.
But I needed to process it. And this morning we have a Monday morning or a 9 a.m. motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm not getting on there. Right? Just my ego. And I said, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Right. You're going to get on there and you're going to apologize. And when she saw my name, I typed something in the chat. I said, I'm here in spite of being corrected last night. And she said, Fee King, I'm so glad to see you. She said, because you could have let that moment stop you from your blessing.
Bravo.
And I'm paraphrasing. I'm paraphrasing what she said.
Wow.
And so I want to share with you. I want to remind you of what we do, because when you do the work, you might think, oh, I've done the work. I've read the books. I've taken the courses. I've studied. I've prayed. I meditated. I run. I drink my water. I'm good. Mm-hmm. The work is ongoing.
Yeah, ongoing.
And as someone who does this work, and I have a community, if someone did what I did in her community, in my community, I would have self-corrected them. I would have corrected them as well. And I have to tell you, she could have gone in on me. Mm-hmm. Right. She could have really been nasty, but she wasn't. But she corrected me. And I needed that, because what came up for me was some childhood stuff. The way she corrected me, it felt like my mom corrected me in front of her friends. And I got to sleep on that. And that's what came to me. I was like, ooh, so this had nothing to do with her. This was all my stuff. Wow. And when I say I am grateful, I'm so grateful, because I now know that nothing and no one gets in between my goals, my dreams, and my visions, because I could have let myself get in between them. Because I'm only hurting myself by not showing up. Do you think I'm hurting her? I've already paid. I already paid.
Bravo, Fee. Bravo, Fee. So I was wondering what's going on. Because I asked you about it a couple times. I said,
times too many. I was like,
I'm going to leave it alone. But I saw you up last night. I would wake up for a couple seconds and a couple seconds.
Yeah,
I wake up for a couple seconds again and fall back to sleep. But I saw you you pull up the blankets to block me, to keep me in the zone. And then I was like, what you doing? She's doing something on her phone. All right. Back to sleep. And so it's nice to know what that was, and the fact that you got on, because because I was like, inside I was like, what you doing? What you doing, lady? What you doing, lady? Well, yeah, I was like, I was thinking about it, but I was like, nope. Nope, let me be cool. But the fact that you got on was very impressive.
You know what, Sekou? So the way that I interpreted your questioning was you blaming me.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was like, oh. So here's the thing. We get to be held accountable, and we get to hold ourselves accountable, because my stuff showed up. And the old me would not have been able to process this in this short amount of time, waking hours. It would have taken me weeks to months to years.
Wow, that's incredible.
Like I would hold on to it.
Yeah.
I would blame her. And it was all me. Like I was out of line. You don't go into someone else's community and solicit other people. Now, I was not soliciting people for business. I was not sending them a link, bringing them to me. I was actually offering them a service. But what I need to do is focus on me.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to help other people right now? Focus on you. And man, that woman, and she said to me, she said, Fee, don't make me kick you out of this community. I didn't tell you
that. What? I wouldn't have been able to hold it. I wouldn't have been able to hold it. I would not have been able to hold it if you told me that. I'd have been hot.
And so what I learned also about that, because again, this does not affect her. And I believe that she's the type of person who would have not only kicked me out, but would have refunded me my money.
Yes, would have refunded your money.
Because my little money does not affect her bottom line.
Yeah.
And so when she said that, all night, I was almost praying that I would get an email that she kicked me out.
Oh, wow.
so that I had an excuse as to why not to show up.
But you showed up.
But I was checking my email. I was like, she didn't kick me out?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so I got to show up. But that's what happens. We tend to self-sabotage ourselves. We tend to be afraid of where God has taken us because it's scary. Like success can be scary. And the very thing that you say you want, you don't want because a lot comes with it because everybody can't go with you.
Right.
Like a lot of people are not going to be able to go with us. And that gets to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, man, this is so good. And I was writing in my journal this morning, God, when? Come on now. I'm doing all the work. I'm doing the things.
Right.
I'm showing up. My mindset is like, I've gone through a whole 180-degree transformation. Like what's going on? What do I need to do more of? What do I need to do less of? And I put we and us, and what do we need to release? Who else do I need to become in order to get there? Because I got myself from over there to here. What else needs to happen from here to there? And then I get on because I was not going to get on, y'all. I was not going to get on. Yeah. And I was like,
what you got there? You got there. You got there. You saw it through. You saw it through. And I saw you over there talking about, you were doing this. And I was like, okay, all right. They talking. She said, I knew she was starting you out.
You did?
I knew she was starting you out because you were like, man, like, okay. Yeah, she's doing it. She's doing it.
And then last thing.
Okay.
This is how else I was trying to further sabotage myself. I would scroll up to see if people were talking trash about me.
Oh, wow. That's what you did today?
No, last night.
Oh, last night?
Because she put me on blast. She was like, Fee King, stop it.
Right.
That's not cool. That's disrespectful.
Right.
Stop it. And I was like, and I'm telling you, in the moment, I didn't realize that I felt like I was being chastised by my mother. And so when you haven't fully healed some of that stuff, it's going to keep showing up. It's going to keep showing up.
Keep showing up.
And it's going to continue from childhood. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
All these decades later.
Yeah.
But you get what? So once you see it and you feel it, you get to heal it. Because there was a time where I wouldn't have even been able to recognize that, wait a minute, this moment is attached to my freaking childhood.
Yeah.
And my relationship with my mother. What? So when I say I'm grateful for this training, I'm grateful because sometimes we want it easy. We want people, to be really gentle. We want the process to be gentle and easy. And you speak about that in your book, Hack Your Pain Now, because pain is a barometer. Pain is intel. And we want to avoid pain at all costs. I don't want to feel any pain.
Right.
When someone breaks up with me or a friendship ends, I don't want to feel anything. No, you want to feel all of it. I want to feel all of it. I want to feel all of it.
Ashe.
Thank you for letting me share that.
Bravo. Give it up for Fee King for preaching this Thursday
to your
morning.
congregation.
To my congregation. That was a word. Yeah, that's nice. And you gave me the perfect segue to my last night. My last night was significant too because I what was it? It was like what was it?
I don't know.
No, the thing I did for Reverend Melissa.
Oh,
yes. What's it called?
Community Cafe.
Community Cafe. But I was speaking about my book, and you just mentioned my book, and you just mentioned pain, and that was one of the things that came up, right? So I was talking about pain. I was talking about how I found the book, and I talked about all the processes. But you know what happened?
What?
What happened is I kept remembering while I was talking. Like it happened during last night's session. All these memories came through, and I was like, "What? And it was fascinating, but it was like all this new information, and they had questions. They got deep with the questions and the comparisons to mental health, and it was really something. It was really something. And I want to talk about pain a little bit.
All right,
pain, just a little bit. Yeah. So my avoidance of pain was was simple. Like I avoided pain in the book. I was writing the book, And I was experiencing pain in my life, and I was writing it out. And I was writing it out because I could not find it. I could not find it in the bookstore. Could not find it in the library. I could not find it anywhere. I could not find what I needed, right? And so I was like, well, let me write it down myself. So I wrote it down myself, and
you wrote it down yourself.
And are you trying to get Fatima? Yeah. I wrote it down myself, and then that was it. I was just going to leave it something as a memoir for me to read if ever I needed it.
Kind of like a journaling?
Yeah, a journaling.
That was a very detailed and it felt, I don't know what your notes look like, but the way that your book is set up, it felt as if it was very orchestrated.
Yeah.
Like you were the fact that you have receipts, playlists, the way you wrote it was really brilliant. And it was brilliant. And I love when people write books because they weren't able to find it in other books. And so you needed to become what you needed.
Right. I needed to become what I needed. And
hey, Ann.
And so I created this thing, and I found all these do not publish notes on it. Do not publish. Keep to yourself. This is for you. I found all those points on it later, but I published it anyway. I published it anyway because I gave myself such a helping hand. I gave myself such a helping hand with how to deal with what I was dealing with, because people don't remember what happened to me. Like, I could not talk. I could not walk. I could not think straight. My mind at that point was in like Legos. It was like Legos. It was like blocks. That's how my thoughts were then. They were blocks, like big blue blocks. They were churning together. But that's how I thought. I thought in big blocks, like that's in the same way to think about things. That's the way a child might think. The way a child might think of shapes, And so I had all that going on, and I needed something to hold on to. And that something to hold on to became me. This me that I wrote to myself. I found it. Lucky I found it. Yeah. And I found it and I started reading it. And that's what pulled me through. It gave me all the tips, gave me the 10 commandments. It gave me everything I needed to get through. Yeah.
You know what's beautiful about that, Sekou, is it was as if your former self knew that your former self knew that your future self was going to need you.
Yes. I mean, what? Like what?
I mean, when you think about that is so beautiful and so powerful. I almost see it as a person who experiences a tragic occurrence and they're watching old home movies of their life with with their family, their parents, their friends, their kids playing sports, whatever that thing, those activities you were involved in before your tragic occurrence. So you're looking at these clips of your story, and that's what your book did. And not only that, had you not had this stroke, you would not be here right now talking about pain, talking about your experiences, because the former Sekou did not do that. The former Sekou, in my opinion, you lived your life in sound bites. And so this Sekou, I think men especially need to see someone who looks like you being this transparent and being this vulnerable and this open, because it gives them permission. And it reminds them that we're all human beings, regardless of your gender. And you can choose to share a little more and help other men share and say, you know what? I experienced pain. I experienced sadness. I experience moments of defeat.
Mm.
And when I do, this is my process. And so maybe my process will be a benefit to you.
Mm.
So one of my favorite processes in your book, I love the playlist, by the way, because I love music. And I said, I want to get back to listening to music and dancing. I really love the playlist. It's like a common thread throughout the book.
Mm.
My favorite commandment is so simple, and it's putting the pencil in between your lips to force a smile. It's putting, and I'm telling you, as I walk the streets of New York City or run and I see people, and I just want to place a pencil in their hand and demonstrate, because I see so many smileless faces.
Mm-hmm.
And things people are going through things, people are processing things, but I said, I tend to process it better with a smile.
Yeah.
That works for me. And that physical reminder can be a game changer for someone.
Yeah. Yeah. And it, and the fact that I got that from out there in the world, like I had a name, I had the circumstances, I had all these things that I wrote up about that. It was difficult for me because I'm reading it, even though that I'm reading my past self, right? I'm hearing my past self speak it to me now, right? And I'm hearing it now. I'm like, all right, I don't want to put no toothpick. I don't want to put no pen. I don't want to put no pen in my mouth. I don't want to do that. But it's me talking to me. And and I'm like, oh man, who you gonna tell me? Like I felt that. But I also felt that this was me. This is me talking to me. And so that was something to be said for. And now let me bring this back around. Let me put this bring this back around, because this is this is get rich 101. And so I'm gonna bring this back to money. In terms of money, it was the same thing. Like I had to come to myself. Like, I know it sounds weird, but me with no memory, with not recognizing any people, like me starting from scratch. And I found my show because my mom was watching it, and I was like, that looks like me. And she's like, it is you. I was like, wow. It was incredible for me. So I was fascinated with what I had to say. So every day, that's what I had to do. I had to get up and make sure I was down in front of the TV before it started, because my mom was one who was hooking everything up. I was like, all right, so let me watch this next episode. Yeah. And I was watching it. They were all old episodes, right? All pre-stroke episodes. And I was listening to me talk to the world about what to do with my money. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Dude is crazy. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. That must be crazy. And I'm watching myself speak to me, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. That sounds crazy. But I kept on listening. And then I discovered that I had accounts. I found accounts. I was like, there's accounts
with money in them.
And I was like, how do I do this? How do I log in? I didn't know how to log in. I couldn't remember any passwords. I could not remember not one password, but I could see something. And so I was like, wow, that this guy being B, knew what he was talking about. He knew what he was talking about. And so for those of you who don't understand, those of you who think, oh, no, Sekou's tripping. He's tripping. Trust me, I get it because that was me listening to me. But I'm telling you that my way is the way. My way is the way. Now, I know I'm not a financial advisor. I know I'm not supposed to give you help, but there is a way. There is a way.
But I think you are helping people just by sharing your story and your journey. Because what I'm getting from this, I was having a Facebook conversation via text with a woman. She's a therapist. And she asked me, we were talking about discipline and motivation. And this is a prime example of the difference between being motivated and relying upon being motivated. Because imagine not being able to speak, your brain is in blocks, not being able to fully walk. I remember when you first came home and you see yourself on the TV,
Yeah.
right? You cannot tell me you were motivated to watch you.
Yeah.
But what you were was discipline. Because motivated people rely upon the feeling. Oh, I'm feeling like doing it. I feel like watching myself and learning and growing.
Because that's how I learned about a run streak. Because I'd done my run streak up to day 409, and I heard myself talking about it. I was like, yeah, day 406, and I was like, I was running every day, and then I decided to try it, and then it was a hard path. But I got there, and now I'm on day 843.
843. So that's a good segue to take us out, baby.
Yeah.
So today, let's celebrate every day, but for 843 consecutive days, every single day, this man has been running. I cannot wait till we get to 1,000. All right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I'm saying. All right, folks. Remember that now is better than perfect. Now is better than perfect. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon. And thanks for hanging out with us and listening to our stories. All right. Later.
We do this every Thursday, God willing, 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 10:15.
Yep. I'll see you later.
Thank y'all for being here.